What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. In today's video we are checking out the latest electric scooter from KuKirin. The one that we have here today, it's called the M5 Pro. This is a scooter that's powered by a 1200 watt motor that's in the rear wheel here. And this is a scooter that was mostly designed to be used as a sit-on scooter. So this was designed to be used like this. Personally, I'm not a fan of this sitting position on a scooter. I don't think it looks that cool. But you can also use this as a regular scooter. And I've actually done that for the first couple of days when I got this. So you can also remove the seat. So you don't necessarily have to have the seat here. This is also foldable, so it folds, but you can remove it all together. So you have 4 screws at the bottom here, and you can just remove those, and then you can use it as a regular scooter. But keep in mind that this was mostly designed as a sit-on scooter. According to the manufacturer, the top speed for this electric scooter is 56 kilometers an hour. But personally, the fastest I've seen this scooter going was 41 kilometers an hour. So nowhere close to that 56. However, maybe I'm a bit heavier, maybe I wasn't riding on a perfectly flat surface. So a lot of factors could come into play. On one charge, the scooter can get somewhere between 40 to 70 kilometers of range. Now, of course, once again, it depends how heavy you are, it depends on what kind of terrain you're riding, and of course the temperature, because if it's cold outside, you're gonna get less range. The battery pack is located here, so you're basically sitting on top of the battery pack. The charging port is on this side here, and it takes about 9 hours to charge this from 0 to 100, but then you do get about 50 kilometers on one charge. The M5 Pro is also a folding scooter, so we have the folding mechanism right here. We basically have a safety pin here, and then you push on this, and then the scooter folds. The seat assembly here also folds. Now, the downside with this scooter, so yes, you can fold it, but the downside with this scooter is the weight. So this weighs 36 kilos, or just over 36 kilos. I believe that's somewhere around 80 pounds. So it is an extremely heavy scooter. You're not going to be able to carry this pretty much anywhere, because it is crazy heavy. Alright, and with that being said, let's start with a bit of an unboxing, just so I can show you how this comes packed in the box and what you have to do to put it together when you take it out of the box. Alright, so as you'd expect, it comes in a pretty massive box, and of course the box is also pretty heavy, and you do have to do a bit of an installation. Unfortunately, the user manual is not that useful, so you basically have to put the handlebar together, you have to put the seat together, and you also have to put together the box that we have on the back of the scooter here. Now, this box is a very neat idea. I haven't seen a scooter that has one of these storage boxes on it, but the downside to having this box is the fact that it makes so much noise. Even if it's empty, it just makes a lot of noise if you're not riding over perfectly flat and nice surfaces. So if you're riding on any rocks or any surface that's uneven, it does make a lot of noise, and I think I'm actually gonna remove it, even though it could be a very handy thing to have on a scooter, because this way you can store some things in here. So we do have a key for it, and it is fairly big, but you're not going to be able to fit a bottle of wine in it. It's not long enough, just in case you're wondering. And this closes like this, and you can also use this as a seat for a passenger. Now, personally, I wouldn't take anyone on the back of my scooter, but I guess there are people that would do that. Since we are on the back here, we might as well talk about the rear wheel. So first of all, we have a mud guard here, so the scooter is not going to splash mud everywhere. This is a 10-inch wheel. This is also a bit wider than most scooters out there. On the right hand side here, even though you cannot see it from that side, we have a disc brake. These are mechanical brakes, so the harder you pull on those brake levers, the faster you'll stop, of course. And inside here, we also have the 1200 watt motor. So this scooter does have plenty of power. There is also a rear suspension here, and of course this helps a lot, mostly when you are riding on the scooter sitting down, because that helps a lot. The seat also has a bit of a spring. I can't really push it down, I have to sit on it, so I can show you how that spring works. But basically when you're sitting on it, when you're riding, sitting on the scooter, it is a very comfortable ride. It doesn't feel bumpy or anything like that. On the back here we also have the rear light. We actually have 3 rear lights. So we have one light on this side, one light on this side, and the big rear light right here. And the rear light also acts as a brake light. So whenever you are braking, that light on the back will flash. And whenever you are riding at night, yes, it is a very bright light and the scooter can be easily seen. The footboard here is also wider than most other scooters that I got to try in the past, and of course that has a lot to do with the fact that this is mostly a sit-on scooter, but as I said, you can ride this as a regular scooter, and I did do that on a few occasions. Interesting enough, the handlebar here can also be adjusted in height. So I believe this is the highest it will go, but you can also have it lower. So it really depends how tall you are, if you want to ride this standing or sitting. So you can lower this or make it higher depending on your needs. It's very simple to do that. So this is the lowest it will go. And I believe this is the highest it will go, somewhere around here. When you're folding this, you're also gonna have to adjust the handlebar. So of course, folding this, it's quite simple. We have the safety pin right here, and then you just step on this here, and the scooter will fold. To open it, you basically push like that, and it will remain open. The folding mechanism here is really nice. It doesn't shake in any way. It doesn't matter what kind of terrain you're riding over. So it is a very nice folding mechanism on it. On the front here we have an 11-inch wheel, so the front wheel is slightly larger than the rear wheel. Maybe this makes riding over certain surfaces a bit easier. And then we have this super cool front suspension. This is probably the coolest suspension that I've seen on any scooter. And when you combine that with these massive lights that we have here, the lights are also very bright, and you can actually adjust them. So there are a couple of modes. You can use them like at the maximum power or a bit lower. But they're very visible during the day, so even if you ride on a super sunny day, you can easily see this, just in case you're wondering. Now, the front suspension here definitely helps, but it helps more when you're riding on the scooter as a sit-on scooter. So if you're riding as a regular scooter, you will find the suspension is kind of hard, but if you're riding as the scooter was designed to be used, then the front suspension does work much better. So that's why I said this scooter is mostly designed to be used as a sit-on scooter. But as I said many times, I'm not a fan of this look here. It does look a bit like one of those mobility scooters, I'm gonna say. So maybe when I'm 60, so not that far from now, I will be riding this scooter like this. Moving back to our front wheel for a second, of course we also have this plastic mud guard here, and on this side, even though you cannot see it from that side, we do have a mechanical disc brake. The braking power on this is really good. I haven't had any issues whenever I'm braking, so the harder you press on this, you can definitely lock the front and the rear wheels. So really good brakes on it. But it would have been interesting to see hydraulic brakes, because the prices of these scooters, well, they're pretty high. So it would be nice to see hydraulic brakes in the future at some point. The kickstand is on the left hand side there. It is mostly made out of metal, or entirely made out of metal, I should say. And it is a really nice kickstand. Whenever you have the scooter sitting on it, the scooter doesn't seem to move. If it's windy, it will not move. So a very sturdy kickstand, I'm gonna say. All right, and that brings us to the top here, the handlebar. So the handlebar is nice and wide. So when you're sitting on the scooter here, you do have a pretty decent position. I did notice, however, that whenever I'm riding on the scooter standing up, so not sitting down, I find that the handlebar is not tall enough for me. I mean, it could have been like this much higher, so it can make my riding experience better. So as I said, this is definitely designed as a sit-on scooter. On the left hand side here, we have a couple of buttons. We have the horn. The horn is not the loudest horn that I've heard. We have the button for the headlight and the rear light. Then we have the display in the center here, and even though this is a pretty nice and big display, it will show you the speed, it will show you the voltage, it will show you what mode you're in. and of course how much battery you have. It's not the brightest screen out there, so if you're riding on a super sunny day like today for example, it is a bit difficult seeing the display there. So I wish they would have used a different type of display so it can be seen better during the day. On the right hand side here we have the ignition, so it's nice that this scooter has an ignition. On a lot of scooters you don't get this. So you do have two keys, so you basically have to turn it on every time you want to use it, otherwise you cannot use it. And here we have the accelerator and of course the mode button. So you basically put the ignition on, then you hold the mode button, press for about 3 seconds, then the scooter turns on and you can change modes. Now the modes don't have anything with the scooter's power, so you have the same power in every mode. The modes only limit the top speed, and according to the manufacturers, as I said earlier, the top speed should be 56 kilometers an hour, even though I never got to see that myself. Alright, so next I'm gonna take you for a super short ride, just so you can see how the scooter rides, how it accelerates and so on. I'll probably use the seat for this video, so I'm basically gonna grab that camera and I'll put it on my chest here and I'll show you how this goes. Riding uphill is definitely better than a lot of scooters that I've seen, but it will depend a lot on what kind of hill you're riding, how steep the hill is and how heavy you are. So this does better than many other scooters that I've tried, but on certain hills around here, because as you can see we have, if Laura can turn the camera this way, we do have a lot of hills everywhere. So on these kind of hills, well, the scooter doesn't do that great. So we probably need something with like 2000 watts of power so you can go up all these hills, not to mention that the battery does take a hit whenever you're riding on these hills. Alright, so let me show you that quick recording and I'll be right back. Alright, so let's go for a little ride. So we have the ignition key here, you basically turn that on, then you hold the button pressed here for about 3 seconds and then you can change modes. And now we are in mode number 3. I'm not sure if you can actually see the display. I can see it fine, but I'm not sure how it will look on the camera. So to get going, you basically just accelerate from here. So 25 kilometers an hour, 28. It is a bit smoky around here. And also quite windy. And I'm not sure if you can actually hear that box, the storage box on the back that kind of makes noise. I personally cannot stand that noise. So we have a bit of a hill here. Well, it's downhill, but we're gonna go back shortly. So we'll turn around somewhere around here. And we'll go this way. So you can see how it does going up that little hill. So for hills like this, no problems whatsoever. But if it's a steeper hill, of course, it will be a bit more challenging for the scooter. So yeah, plenty of power for pretty much any situation, and you can definitely keep up with traffic. We're doing about 38 kilometers an hour, 39. And that's how it brakes basically. So yeah, this is how you'd ride this scooter. So there you have it. This is the KuKirin M5 Pro. If you're looking for a scooter that you want to ride comfortably, so basically a sit-on scooter, definitely consider this one. But if you're looking for a scooter that you like riding normally, like standing up like most scooters out there, I don't recommend this scooter. This is clearly designed to be used mostly as a sit-on scooter. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.